This is so okay. So this kind of goes for King of Kings as well, but the more I don't know how to describe it, but like we talked about this before when it comes to like movies about Shakespeare where they talk with that like Shakespearean old English cadence. A lot of Bible movies do that where they have that like they don't talk like modern people, they talk like it's got that sort of like old school kind of dialect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um this is the last temptation of Christ. And this is the movie that dares to ask the question, Jordan. What
What
if?
if?
What if? But Jordan, what if Jesus fucked?
I'm not touching that one.
Jordan, but this movie does. Well, I mean, more specifically, Mary Magdalene does touch it. No, there's a big part of big part of this movie is Jesus
And
just
by
upset about the fact that
and
he's a virgin.
by it you
His penis,
mean
obviously, Jordan. His
ah,
his cross. Sorry, his
I
cross.
didn't know.
I should have said his cross. The,
We're
there's
going
a
to hell.
we are very much. There's a plot point where they mention the fact that Jesus is a virgin and he's really insecure about it, and it's kind of funny. But like, so this is not really
No, but just
necessary.
don't you know that's the game he runs. He tells all of the people that he wants to sleep with that he's a virgin and only you can help cure him of his
I'm pretty sure
virginness.
that's an episode of
And that
Family Guy.
yes, it is. That's exactly what I'm referencing. You got the reference. Good job.
Um, but yeah, no.
He's using it to try and sleep with Peter's wife Lois.
This is not based on the Bible. That's the most important bit. This is based on a book from like the 1950s called The Last Temptation of Christ. And the basic premise of this is at the end it goes through Jesus's life as it normally would. It's I think 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and it feels like well no it doesn't feel like it. It's a Martin Scorsese film, so it generally has his pacing, which like even when they're long, they don't feel long, but they also do feel long. I can't think of a like Wolf of Wall Street. You know, Wolf of Wall Street, like you feel like you've been watching a movie for 3 hours, but it doesn't feel like it's been 3 hours.
Yeah,
Kind of like
yeah.
that, or like Goodfellas is like that too. His movies are really well paced. They don't feel like they've been going on for a long time. When you're watching them, but um, the big difference between this and most passion stories, is when it gets to the passion, when he's on the cross, he he is tempted by Satan into basically getting off the cross and being saved by Mary, and he goes on to have a full life where he has several kids and gets old and dies, and it gets to the end, and throughout this alternative life, alternative timeline, like at one point he runs into Peter, who is saying that he died on the cross anyway. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, Jesus died on the cross." He's like, "No, he didn't. I'm Jesus." And he's like, no, you can't be. He's like, and besides, even if you were Jesus, it's way more beneficial to me for you to be dead. So I'm gonna keep doing this. Bye. Um, and it gets to the point where he's about to die of being an old man, and they're like, "Hey, you could die of an old man and doom humanity to hell, or you can go back and do the Jesus thing like you're supposed to." And he still inevitably does the Jesus thing, dies on the cross, and then he saves the world. Um, and so that is the only deviation. And this movie is highly controversial because it shows Mary Magdalene and Jesus having sex for a brief 20 seconds.
That feels sacrilegious.
Well, according to a bunch of Christians, it is. But what I this is
Not
probably
the act of them doing it necessarily, because sexuality is perfectly healthy and
but it's
normal.
the showing it. Yeah, yeah.
But the showing of Jesus fucking
Well, what's not funny? Funny is not the right word. But the what's interesting is like when they show him on the all the people, the two thieves and him on the cross, they be naked, and I kept being like, so is being naked part of it? And hold on, I don't want that to keep doing that. Sorry, hold that thought. Go away. Shh, stop.
in terms of
Stop. You can't hear that noise, but the audience can.
the
Come on.
in terms of the Romans and stuff, yeah, probably it's probably supposed to be like shameful.
Well, okay, sorry. That was distracting. Sorry, audience. Is being naked part of it? What I thought was interesting, I could believe it. Strip you completely of everything that holds any value to you. I could believe it. But what was interesting is I rewatched The Passion after I'd watched Jesus Christ Superstar because I was like, oh, I kind of want to go back and now rewatch the serious stuff with the silly stuff as context.
You did Passion of the Christ twice? What are you, a masochist?
Evidently, because I wanted to see these moments
Par-
re-explored that I'd seen the
Pardon
silly versions of seriously again.
pardon the appropriateness of this comment, but Jesus Christ.
But what was interesting is when he's on the cross in that movie, despite despite the fact that he is beat up to hell, he's still wearing underwear. He still has bottoms on. So like apparently Mel Gibson felt enough to give him modesty to not show him naked.
His wang.
But
Yeah,
no, because
most of the versions that I saw, he keeps breeches on or
right,
underwear on.
right. But I mean, to be fair, they don't show his wang, but he's very definitely naked. So I don't know why Martin Scorsese went him being nude is part of it. But what I appreciated about this movie is they use plain regular English for a lot of like when he's doing like the Jesus sermons, he's saying them as though it were like modern English. So he's like, yeah, if you throw don't throw that stone unless you have sin. Or like when it shows the Pharisees are like doing the like, oh, he's saying he's this and he's saying this and it's blasphemous and he's doing this for that reason and this for this reason. And that was the moment where watching this one, I finally started to get what the beef was because that was being explained to me in plain, easy to understand English. And I was like, oh, okay, what the hell? And I was like, okay, yeah, no, this makes sense. I'm understanding this. It made
Made it more palatable.
Yeah, it made following it more. I could understand what was happening in the story a bit more. It's also substantially less. Funny, because for the longest time, this was characterized as being the most upsetting Jesus movie. It's not. Oh, that's the bit. You are no doubt not familiar with the Gospel of Judas, right?
Um, I know that all of his disciples had gospels.
Well,
Mary
Judas,
Magdalene had one.
yes, but hers is also, I believe, non-canonical as well. I think they say that that's a reference to the Da Vinci Code, and I'm pretty sure he says it's non-canonical in that book.
Well, it depends on what you consider. Like, there's ones which are officially recognized by like the church and or by the Pope and the Vatican and stuff.
Yeah, but they're still
what
non-canonical.
what is non-canonical? I mean,
In that it's not in the actual Bible. That's what it means.
which
But
again was written and curated by men.
but
What is
not the
canonical?
point. The scripture, the Gospel of Judas is non-canonical, so it is not in the Bible. It was found. The reason why it's not in the Bible is not for any lack of authenticity. It was just because it was found way later and translated and whatever. But I think you described Jesus Christ Superstar, or I think you said it was Judas Propaganda. But I think a more modern version would be it's Judas fan fiction. And you want to talk Judas fan fiction, the Gospel of Judas basically turns Judas into like, I don't know what the,
Martyr.
well, I want to say Mary Sue, but like basically basically, Jordan, the Gospel of Judas says that Judas, in fact, did not betray Jesus. That prior to him declaring that he would betray him, Jesus secretly came to Judas and said, Judas, you are super special awesome, and I have this big important plan for you. I need you to betray me to the Romans so that I can sacrifice myself so that I can become God. Now, only you know this, Judas, because you're the most special, awesome one of us. And you can't tell anyone this. This is going to be a secret between bros. But I need you to do this for me, okay, bro? Fist bump? Come on.
I'm letting you in on the secret.
Right?
I'm letting you in on the scam here
Um,
at the ground level.
and so the whole idea behind, there's more to it than that, but the whole idea basically is that Judas didn't actually betray Jesus. Jesus asked him to look like he was betraying Jesus.
Judas was in on it.
Yeah, he was in on it the whole time. Yeah, and so this movie does that. I think this movie came out before they discovered the Gospel of Judas. I think I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But so in this movie, it does the Gospel of Judas, where Jesus goes to Judas before the Last Supper and is like, "Yeah, I need you to betray me to the Romans so I can die." And he's like, why would I do that? He's like, because I need to die so I can become super Jesus. He doesn't say it, but he's basically saying it. So I can go, so I can become the best, whatever, yada yada. And he's like, why do I need to do that? Goes, I need to die. That's part of it. And he actually says the words, that's part of it. I need to die. That's part of it. And I need to sacrifice myself. That's the whole deal. I have to do that. And so after he gives into temptation and comes down off the cross, it gets to the end where all of the disciples come to visit him, and he's all old now, and they're all old. And Judas is like, I betrayed you for nothing. Like, you told me to do that, and I did it for nothing. I'm really pissed off at you, Jesus. You were supposed to die on the cross for us, and you didn't. And and the other thing that's funny about this movie is he's got a weird compulsion to be on the cross. Like, he's got this weird, like, he just has this weird need to be in the, so the movie opens and he's just making crosses for the Romans, and Judas is like, yeah, you, and it's before he meets all the other disciples, and Judas is like, bro, you just make crosses all day. And it keeps cutting to him like going up on various crosses because he just has this thing about this compulsion about being on the cross. Like, all he wants to do is be put on a cross. It's like his thing. He's like, I don't know why. Jesus is just really into being on the cross for some
He just
reason.
really likes it.
He really wants to be put up on the cross for. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Don't ask me to explain it.
Yeah,
He
for
just
some
really,
reason.
really likes it.
But yeah, it was I or like when it does the bit where Peter pretends like he doesn't know Jesus. Like, yeah, whenever I saw that described as being like, oh, Peter, you will deny me 3 times, I never understood what that meant until I saw it in like these movies where it's Peter basically, or not, I think it was Peter. Yeah, Peter basically like, yeah, I don't know that guy. And like,
No,
you kind of,
you're one of his disciples, aren't you? No, I don't know him. I don't know him.
uh,
Sorry.
I don't know that guy.
I don't know him.
And when
Stop
you see
saying that.
when you see it like in context, you're like, oh, I kind of get why he did that. I kind of get why I don't know that guy.
Yeah, mob mentality.
Because being like, I know that guy would have got the shit kicked out of him. And
No, more even than that. Saying that he knew that guy might have gotten him killed.
that too, yeah, absolutely. In I guess depending on the movie, in the moment it would, like in the Passion, it would have got the because in that scene, Jesus is getting the shit stomped out of him, and Peter's like, I don't want the shit stomped out of me, and so he's like, yeah, I don't know that guy. Why would I know that guy? And yeah, the idea of your relationships to people being kind of more secretive is just not something we're really all that familiar with today. Like, oh yeah, the disciples, we think the disciples as being famous, but they weren't. Like, they were kind of like closer to the,
They were more famous after the fact than they were in the moment.
in the moment, exactly. And yeah, this I
Kind of the equivalent of, like, that's their year 1 Batman story. They're still in year 1 where they're
yeah,
learning how to beat the shit out of Gotham. It's not year 4 Batman where people know who they are and they're well established.
exactly, yeah. It also has a weird amount of boobs. Like, I will say, this is the Jesus movies with the most boobs.
Sounds like the best Jesus movie.
There's a lot of that. Like the first scene you see Mary Magdalene, she's naked. This one very much is she's a prostitute and she's naked and she's laying with another man, and you see everything.
She's not a prostitute.
I would say it's arguably one of the more sexually graphic Martin Scorsese films. But there's boobs. There's the most boobs in any of these Jesus movies. There's the most boobs. There's a lot of boobs. But yeah, that's not the reason why it's my favorite. One of my favorite. It's definitely some of my top because it's my top 5 Jesus movies. Top 5, yeah, is Jesus Christ Superstar, my favorite. The Passion, or the Last Temptation of Christ, second favorite. Passion, third favorite. I think I just have a top 3 because I did not care for King of Kings. That's it. That's the Last Temptation of Jesus Christ. Hey there, everybody. It's NCard Justin here. Let me know down in the comments down below. Did you need that question answered? Were you wondering that? If you were, let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this is from, our most controversial episode ever, you're gonna have to click the box on the left. If you want to see the random video, the YouTube things you're gonna enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave the video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.